I've been tutoring VCE methods for the past 6 years, and the top performing students who consistently score 40 plus, they all exhibit the same 3 traits. Now, the first thing that they all do is they all learn the content independently before class. Now, most of them would just read the textbook before class, but some would go through things with their tutor, some would watch some online free videos. Either way, they're learning the things before class, so when they get to class, things aren't as much of a surprise. This not only allows students to learn things in extra time, which gives them more memory retention, but it also buys more time leading up to SACs and exams because they can dedicate more time to SAC-specific and exam-specific revision. Now, the second thing that they did was they didn't necessarily start doing full-length practice exams right now, but what they did was they went through old exams and they picked out questions that were relevant to what they'd already studied. So if you're doing VCE methods right now, you're probably just finished differentiation and you might have had your first SAC already as well. So what these students did at this time of the year was they started picking out questions that related to all the topics up until differentiation, and they started answering them now. And this gave them 2 benefits. The first one was that they used this content and they used this knowledge to help them with their SACs, but it also allowed them to learn the exam type skills at such an early stage that when they started going through exam revision and they started getting deep into the exam period, they weren't as nervous when it comes to answering those exam type questions. The last thing that they did was they kept a balanced workload all the way throughout VCE. Obviously, leading up to a test or an exam, they'll try and focus on that for that day or the 2 days before that. But for the most part, they would keep their workload and they would keep their study schedule very consistent. This allowed them to not only keep themselves accountable, but it meant that they never really had the chance or the opportunity to fall behind with any subject. And they maintained that standard that they needed for the 40 plus, and then they ended up achieving it at the end of the year.